Hi there. I am really sorry that I have been gone for so long. Um, I'm always so busy, and that's always my excuse. It's the only thing I got right now. But I thought that I would do an update. It's been a while since I've talked about everything that's been going on, or where we are, like with our finances, or where we are, period. So I thought I would just share with you that I know that some of my videos, the debt free with the hubby, talk about derailed. There's been so many other issues going on in our family. Nothing like horrible, no illnesses or anything like that. So thank goodness. But still enough, just things, kid stuff, other family member stuff, and it's just really easy to get thrown off track when you have things in your life going on. And I think that's kind of normal. So even though my intentions were really good at one time to keep that stuff, like, just really like get it done, we got sidetracked with other things. I will tell you, however, that even though we got horribly sidetracked, we did in fact sell my husband's truck, and we bought one for cash, and so now we do not owe a truck payment anymore for him. The truck he got is not probably what he would like to be driving. It's good enough. It's got some of the things he wanted. But it's got some things wrong with it. I wouldn't call it necessarily a beater. It's probably a couple steps up from a beater, but he drives it to and from work, and that's literally it. So, we also traded in my guzzling Yukon for a fuel efficient Toyota Camry. So with the EcoBoost, so we actually now are saving so much money on gas. It was like staggering, the money that we were saving in gas. I think the first 2 months, I was amazed at how much further the gas dollar goes in that Camry than in an SUV. So we've saved money there, and the payments were about the same. So even though we didn't necessarily save on a payment, we are saving so much in gas that it was well worth it. So we lost some seating room and we lost the four-wheel drive, but it was definitely worth the trade. So in that regard, we have been making some steps in the right direction. We have paid off a few debts. We have not incurred any new ones, so that's good. But I think I have been, I don't know if you want to call it that, I've been like doing some self exploration. It's probably a good way to put it. And I have realized some things about myself recently, and some of them are great, and some of them are like, so. One thing that I realized that I do is you know how I like planners and calendars and systems and books and binders and budgets, and I try all these new things. I'm kind of trying to step away from that just a little for now, because I have a tendency to take something that should be very simple, and in my love for structure, I overcomplicate it. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that do this, that the people who have to just stop by the office supply store like Office Max or Office Depot just to like walk in and smell the place and just look at all the pretty organizing things and not even buy anything. That's me. I did that on Saturday. I went to Office Depot and just to walk around because I love it in there. So I'm a dork like that, but I could see where things were failing me. And with our finances was probably one of the biggest ones. I constantly was struggling to try to find something that really worked. And I might find something that was really good, but it never really seemed to fit me very well for the long term. I was more of a short term sprinter, and I just couldn't find anything that worked. So I sat down and I was really thinking about, in the past, there was a time, like before my husband and I were married, that I handled money far differently. Now, this would be back, in the late 90s, when there was no automated anything. There were no bank websites. The internet was like brand new, so there was like 5 websites on the whole internet. There was no downloading your bank statements to your software, because the software didn't even exist back then. I mean, I think you had maybe basic finance software, but you didn't have anything like what you have now available. So most people back then did their budget and their bills with a checkbook register, a calculator, a pile of bills, envelopes, and stamps. That's how I did it. There was not even a computer involved in the process. So the way I would do things was I would have my checkbook register. I would write down bills as I paid them. When we got paid, I would pay the bills. And then anything that was upcoming that I saw that we needed to maybe set money aside for, I would go ahead and write it in my check register and deduct it from the amount that was available. And I wouldn't put the date in, though, until the money was actually taken out of the account. So the date was left blank. And that way I could very easily see money that had been set aside, but it wasn't actually taken out of the account or wouldn't be clearing the account until I put that date in there. At the time, I did not know that that was budgeting, but that was in fact what I was doing. I was budgeting back then. And that's how simple it was. And I had a calendar, a small, one of those small wall calendars that they have. And it had, it was a full month spread on both sheets. And I would write my bills on the dates that they were due. And when they got paid, I crossed them off. And it literally was that simple. And it worked for years. So in my, I have a chipmunk chirping outside my window, like really loudly. Wow. So in my attempt to try to come up with a good solution for my problem, I decided to go back to what worked 100 years ago. Only now I'm going to let the computer do the addition and subtraction and a lot of the work for me because it's available. It'd be silly not to use it. But I am very visual, and I'm I like the tangibleness of something. I like to be able to see my bills and lay them out and cross things off. It's always why I've liked to have a paper planner at times, because I need to be able to write. And even though I don't have a paper planner now, I'm using a Google Calendar on my phone. If you know me, you know I have something. I carry around this notebook with me everywhere I go. And it's got my lists, and it's got my journals, and it's got my, I use it for everything. So I still am a writer. I still write everything down. So for my bills, what I did was I searched all over for a calendar that was a year long. It was only yearly. And I didn't want anything other than something just like this. And this is the perfect book for this. This is I'll show you the brand in case anybody, I got this at Walmart for like $5 or $6, I think. It's a 2-year, it's a 2-year spread, so it covers all of 2014. Here's how I've done this. This is a laminated, and that's all it is. It's just year-long calendars. Or monthly calendar. It's a monthly, you understand what I'm saying? Okay, good. There's a pen, and there's a big binder clip on the inside. There's my bills. I literally, when I get a bill in the mail, I write the due date down. Okay, here's an example of due dates written down, and I'll show you October's. So I get the bill, I write it down. I've highlighted our paydays. So this is what it looks like. I write the bill, I write when it's due. If it's an automatic payment, I put a little A at the end and circle it so I know that it's going to be automatically withdrawn from the account. And then when I pay it, I highlight it. Now you're going to notice on some of these things that there are dots. I don't know if you can see. I'll show you my Verizon. And you see the dots? I still am going to use I use YNAB still. So my check register's up to date. All a budget is basically a version of your check register that already has things that need to be paid for, taken out of it. That's it. So I put a dot next to things when I've entered them into the budget so that their money has already been set aside for those things. Anything without a dot hasn't had money set aside for it yet. When a bill is paid, I stamped it paid, I punch a hole in it, and I stick it in a month tab on a 3-ring binder. And that is my entire bill pay system. And it's so much simpler than anything I've ever used in a very long time, and it works beautifully. So if you really need to simplify things with your budget and your bills, try this and let me know what you think. I feel way better about it. So yay. I will update you later, and I hope that you have a good day. Thanks.